family? This is your brother here once again, DeAndre Riley, DRspeaks, and you have just tuned in to another edition of I've Got Something to Say. Thank you for taking the time out to view this broadcast. I greatly appreciate it. For more information about myself, about my business, about my ministry, connect with me by going to my website. Go to DRspeaks.org. The information is right at the bottom of your screen. You can see the website. Go there. See what it is that I got going on. Find out a little bit more about me and even what this television show is about. Today's message is very special and dear to me. It's a culmination of an event that I have been doing, or a movement of sorts that I've been doing, called the 21 Days to Better. So family, take a look at this. I'll be right back in a couple of minutes to give you a little bit more information. DR Speaks. Peace. Be blessed. All right, so pretty much today I wanted to start off talking about the 21 Days to Better. Some of you know what it is, most of you know what it is, but a lot of you may not know why I started doing it, where it came from, what was the idea behind it, my thought process, and everything in regards to that. It was something that not only did I personally look at it to evaluate myself, but of course I wanted to make a difference in people's lives around me, help make people better in different areas of their lives. God really challenged me as far as tapping into my full potential. And then also kind of permeating, that and sharing that with the world, letting people know that, hey, you can do something with your life beyond where you currently are. Even if we consider things to be good, a lot of times we're not performing where we should be. We're not at the optimum level. And a lot of times we kind of hold things in, I guess a certain gear. If you look at certain cars, manual shift cars, they got 5, 6 gears, but a lot of us kind of only roll in 2 or 3 gears, 4 gears maybe. And so why not utilize those 5 gears? Why not utilize 6? Why not push it to the limit? Do things that you know you're supposed to do, unlocking those gifts, those greatness, those things that's within you to make a difference. And so the 21 Days to Better, I looked at it and I said there were some areas in my life, number one, that I knew I needed to improve on. I said if I'm going to go to the next level, if I'm going to reach the pinnacle of success that God wants me to reach, if I'm going to be effective in areas of ministry, if I'm going to be effective in areas of business, if I'm going to be effective in my marriage, with the family, education, whatever the case may be, there were specific areas that I looked at that I said, I got to fix, I got to get better in. And so a lot of these things, a lot of the subjects that you may have seen over the last 20 days, you can definitely check it out on the website, DRspeaks.org. But a lot of those subjects, those are personal things that I looked at, tried it for myself, evaluated myself, looked at some areas that I was weak in. I said, I need to work on these areas. And I'm like this, I never, like a chef, I would not ever eat or ever serve anything that I haven't eaten myself. And so if I'm telling you something, and if you see the passion, if you see the excitement, it's because I lived it. It's because I went through it myself. It's because I applied it to my own life. No matter what it is, I try to look at myself and mirror, or look in the mirror, see that message as a mirror, say, what can I do to get better? And so I looked at these messages, I put these different subjects out, and again, it was great to see the response from certain people. A lot of people kind of let me know, hey, this was good. I definitely appreciated this day. Day 2 was my favorite day. Day 10 was my favorite day. Whatever the case, would have been, definitely appreciate that. And so today's subject I want to talk about is time to shine. And I think once we, have looked at these videos, a lot of us kind of already have. Now we have to put these things into action. Now, if we're going to go to that next level, we're going to have to, again, tap into that potential. And I believe that God created us all to shine. This particular subject was somewhat birthed or inspired by a book that I've been reading over the last couple of weeks called 100 Watt Life. My friend and my brother wrote that book, Antoine D. Jackson. I encourage everyone to go get it if you can. Great book, great read, easy read. But he talks about in chapter 2, it's time to shine. And I looked at that and I said, it's interesting. I was probably going to do that probably around day 16, day 17, maybe even day 18. And, what I would do on a daily basis, I would converse with my wife and I would say, hey, I got this subject I'm thinking about doing today. We'll talk about this, we'll talk about that, so on and so forth. And she's like, yeah, that's good, that's good. But when I told her I was going to do It's Time to Shine, she was like, well, why don't you wait? And maybe you should do that on the last day. And, it'd be a combination of everything. And I thought about it. I was wise. I listened to my wife. As maybe some men don't. But, I listened to her and, here we are today. And so it's time to shine. I believe that God put lights down on the inside of all of us. Lights to be effective, lights to shine into this world. Jesus says it this way, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works. Then in turn they glorify the Father which is in heaven. And so what ends up happening is I see on a daily basis people, they got light and they're, kind of shading it a little bit. They're covering it up all together. You know, some people, they are utilizing their light for the wrong things. And so it's time to shine. Is more so us making sure that we position ourselves, like I said, to make the difference in the world, to show people who we are, to show people what it is that God has given us. No longer sitting on the sidelines of life, no longer hiding our gifts, no longer hiding our talents, but really tapping in and saying, hey, here's what God has given me. I'm not ashamed of it. Let's go for it. And I look at all of the things, like, just imagine what the world would be like if, I don't know, Bill Gates sat on his light. Imagine what the world would be like if we didn't have internet, we didn't have Facebook. Imagine what the world would be like if Henry Ford decided he wasn't going to, do his thing with the automobile, or automobiles would have never came into existence. We'd be walking everywhere. We probably wouldn't have been connected with a lot of people that we're connected with now. We wouldn't, have met up with that old friend that we made lost contact with in high school that we found back on Facebook. Maybe we witnessed to that person. Maybe they came to our business, whatever. And so imagine having to, wait to communicate with somebody because you ain't got a cell phone. You got to send a letter, and it takes 2 or 3 days in order for it to get there. And so the people that invented these things, the people that, are the revolutionaries of this society, and that will continue to be, they are the ones that are deciding that the light that they have, they're going to utilize to make a difference in this world. And so day one of the 21 Days to Bet, I start off saying it all begins with you. And I think too often in life we kind of, let's see how I can say this, we blame everybody else for, what we're not doing, or we're waiting for someone to approve us in a sense. And we are so, approval sensitive nowadays. We want everyone to jump on our bandwagon and to encourage us and to tell us what we should do. But understand this, no matter who jumps on the bandwagon with you, and no matter who tells you that you can do it, I can't want anything for you. You can't want anything for me. I got to do it for myself. I got to get started with myself. I got to go ahead and put the things into action. My wife, she can't go to school for me and get the grades for me. You can't run my business for me. You can't stand in the pulpit and preach for me. These are the things that I have to do for myself. And so you got to look at yourself first and understand that it all begins with you. If you're going to do anything, you got to make the decision. You are kind of what I would like to say as the author of your life, the CEO, the person that's in charge. God gave you that ability. God gave you the ability to choose. He gave you the ability to do things with your life. And whether it's good or bad, you still have that choice. Hopefully you will utilize that choice to do something good, of course. But again, you have that choice. So when things don't happen in your life, you can't look to the person next to you and say, you're the reason why I didn't get it done. That's why I told you on day 19, stop playing the blame game. Stop blaming everybody for what's not happening in your life. But take accountability for your actions. Take responsibility for your life. Realize and understand that it all begins with you. Then we moved into day 2 and I talked about believe. I said believe not only in yourself, because again, God put things inside of you. And a lot of times we kind of just shun certain things, but say believe in yourself. Believe in those gifts, those talents, those skills, those ideas and inventions that you have. But most importantly, believe in God. Because it's in Him that we live, we move, and have our being. It's in Him that we can do all things. And so believe in God, believe in yourself. The third day I said, make a decision. One of my favorite speakers, his name Eric Thomas, he said, if you want to make a difference, you got to make a decision. And sometimes we wake up, we don't like our jobs, we don't like our present situation, we don't like our incomes, we don't like maybe the family situation, and then we sit back and we complain and we murmur and expect things to happen. Complaining is not going to get anything done. Murmuring about it, being disgruntled about it is not going to change a thing. You got to get up, make a decision as to what you're going to do to make a change in this particular area. Want to get better grades, study harder. If you want to get a raise on your job, work harder. And so all of these different things, you have to make a decision to do it. If you want to start a business, if you want to go back to school, whatever it is that you want to do, you have to make the decision. And don't ever sit back and be afraid to do certain things. Don't be afraid to sit back and allow the limits of society and life to keep you back and to not allow you to think that you have the ability to do certain things. This is this quote, George Bernard Shaw, he said this, those people that make it in life are the ones that look for the opportunities that they want. And when they can't find them, they create them. And so again, we are looking around and maybe we don't see the opportunities. You're like, I don't see how it's going to happen. But you create the opportunity that you want. I remember going to work, and I guess it wasn't necessarily, when I first started, opportunities for management and advancement, but I didn't allow that to keep me down. I didn't allow that to hold me back. I didn't allow that to make me think that I couldn't do anything. I just showed up to work, tried to work hard every single day, come on time, do above and beyond what it is that they told me I should do. I never gave them an excuse. That's not in my job description. I did what was necessary to make sure that when the opportunity did present itself, I could be able to walk right into it, or that at the least an opportunity would be made. Because things happen. People, they notice you. And y'all know this in different, churches. Sometimes they, create jurisdictions and they create departments and they do different things so that you that are working hard can be filling those positions because they notice the work that you've done. And they say maybe, for instance, they wouldn't have gave me the opportunity. Maybe if this company don't continue to advance me, eventually I had to make my own choice. I had to make my own decisions. I have to look for my own opportunities to do what it is that I want to do, to be financially stable, to be wealthy, famous, whatever, dreams you may have in life. Find it, create the opportunity, go for it, make a decision. Stop making excuses, but make a decision. And so we looked at a few other days. I want to say maybe my favorite day was day 12, and that was what's in your hands. Because a lot of times we believe in God. We don't normally have a problem with that. We think God is so awesome and he can do so many things in and through us, but we discount what it is that we have. We look at our talents, we look at the gifts that we have, and we start looking at everybody else. And my stuff don't look like theirs. I can't sing like she can sing. I can't act like he can act. I can't run as fast as he can run. And so we begin to start comparing ourselves, and before you know it, you discount what God has given you. And so I utilize the story of Moses. Moses was called by God to go back to deliver the children of Israel out of Egypt, out of bondage, out of slavery. And Moses comes with all these different excuses. I can't talk. The people ain't going to believe me. I don't got no army. All these type of different things. Not to mention Moses was old. And so he had all of these different excuses, and he's trying to bargain with God as to why he can't do it. God asked him one simple question: what's in your hand? Moses, he looked at the little stick he had, the staff he had, and he thought it was just a staff. He was a shepherd. He was doing different things with it, but he didn't see the full potential in it. And the things that God has given us, it's bigger than what we think. It's bigger than what meets the eye. That's why it's so important that we walk by faith and not by sight. And so we look at Moses' story, and God says, no, it's a little bit more than that. Throw it on the ground, it becomes a serpent, and then he picks it back up, and you see, how the staff was even utilized in the future events. If you look throughout the book of Exodus and the children of Israel's story, it was utilized for so many more things. And so understand what you have, don't discount it. Don't compare what you got to everybody else. Don't compare what you don't have. Don't say, I can't do this and I can't do that. Because at the end of the day, those things that you have, it's enough. I'm so strongly convicted with this point. If you needed more, God will give you more. And a lot of times as you begin to use what you have, it'll take you to different places. I would have never thought, especially going back towards the end of 2013, that I would even be thinking about doing television. Just to be honest. I was kind of thinking about maybe doing some YouTube things. You can grab a phone and a camera and you can just be on YouTube all day. But I started doing the radio. And I was doing the radio on a weekly basis, and then the engineer at the station said, hey, I know a guy think you're ready for television. I'm thinking, like, who you talking to? How much that's going to cost? I start coming with all of these, again, different excuses. How much that's going to cost? What time am I going to be on? How often is this going to be? Do I got anything to talk about? I don't really got nothing to say. Doing a radio show called I've Got Something to Say. And so, I begin to discount myself. And I kind of put it off, just to be honest, probably about a whole month before, I even got with the guy and, started doing the television program. But at any rate, I just got started with it. I utilized a little bit that God gave me. And, on a monthly basis now, you see me here on television. And it's great. I love it. I'm enjoying it. It's definitely a wonderful thing. But I would have never done it had I just discounted everything that I had. I even had some trepidation about doing the 21 days to better. It was, can I come up with enough content? I had some content, do I want to expose certain things? I had this issue that came up at work, like right before the new year. I had kind of thought, I'm going to do something like a, 21, day, not a fast in a sense, but I believe the adage that it takes 21 days to break a habit, it takes 21 days to form a new one. And so I said, I can start doing something maybe, from a general perspective. I think that anybody can grab hold to and just look at areas in their lives and start wanting to get better in. Then I said, no, I ain't going to do it. So I just put it on the back shelf. And then I kind of thought about it again. And then right at the beginning of the year, like January 2nd or something like that, or maybe December 31st, I can't remember. But my job has sent out this thing called the 21-day mind diet. And I was like, man, this foolishness, you know. I mean, I think it's a good thing, but it was pretty much doing something different every day. Maybe go take yourself out to eat. Tomorrow, invest in something. You know, on Thursday, read a book. Something like that. Things that just to kind of help you think positive. And so I was like, well, I ain't going to do it now because I'm friends with a lot of people at my job on Facebook and things of that sort. And I was like, I don't want them to think, you know, I'm biting off what they're doing. And so it was the day before. I was just like, you know what? Skip it. I'm just going to go for it. You know, but I came with all of these excuses. I was like, well, I don't got a cameraman, you know, to record this every day. I don't have the money to pay my graphic designer every day to make a particular graphic for me to put on Instagram or something like that. Again, excuses, you know. And so I just got started, you know, found an app on my phone, started utilizing, you know, my iPad and my cell phone to, you know, do the videos. And again, I think about the few people that let me know, hey man, I'm getting started with this. They send me text messages about this, and, you know, people's lives are being changed. What if I would have never did it? Because I made excuses. I discounted what it was that I had. I didn't believe in the things that God has given me. And so day 13, this was pivotal to me because that was be thankful. So you look at all of these things. You say, okay, God has given me this. I can work with what I have. Instead of discounting it, instead of complaining and murmuring, let me be thankful. Let me be thankful for what I do have. I can work with this little bit that I have. I mean, if you think about it, Google started in the garage. Apple started in the garage. And now you look at these companies years later. I mean, Google has been in existence about 16 years now, multi-billion-dollar company. Started from a garage. So, I mean, they were thankful, I guess, with the little bit that they had. They utilized it. And when you become thankful, you become faithful. And when you become faithful, God gives you more. You be faithful over little, He'll make you rule over much. We can't get anywhere, though, with a disgruntled attitude. And I talked about that, too, having a good attitude. We can't get anywhere with a bad attitude, with a bad perspective. And so I got a few points that I want to share with you. I guess if we're going to shine, if we're going to make a difference, if we're really going to go forward and apply these things to our life, there's three very key things that I think we need to look at. And number one is don't allow limits to be placed over your life. And when you look into society, when you talk to people on a daily basis, be careful who you share your things with, your dreams and your visions and ideas with, because you got haters all around you. You'll always have people that'll come up. I mean, I said on day 5, watch out for dream killers. Because people don't understand your dream. You know, if I sit up here and tell you some of the things, you know, maybe not you all, but if I tell certain people certain things, they look at me and be like, don't you need to have like 2 or 3 degrees for that? And, you know, don't you need this much money to be able to do that? And so on and so forth. Come up with all of these different things trying to kill my dream. But not realizing, and I think a lot of times we get, affected by this. And I'm thoroughly convinced, I'm fully persuaded that we oftentimes don't tap into our full potential because we listen to the naysayers. We listen to what people have to say, especially when it's somebody we love, somebody that we have endearment towards, and they come and they tell you, no, you can't do that. And you may be thinking like, man, that kind of hurt it. I mean, maybe they care about me and maybe you accept that. But even sometimes, unfortunately, I hate to say it this way, but sometimes those closest to you can't even see the vision. And so when you know God has shown you something, when you know God has put something in you, don't let any limits be placed over you. I don't care what situation you find yourself in. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how much money you got. You know, my friend Jamal, we were sitting at the table at dinner a few nights ago, Monday, I believe it was, and they said that God will never reveal something to you that you cannot apprehend. And that thing stuck with me. Because why would God show you something if you can't have it? Now, it's up to you if you get there, but if God show you that business, if God show you that ministry, if He show you that house, if He show you that marriage, why do you think God going to dangle something over your head for you not to be able to have? And so, you know, I looked at these things and people come and they try to make you doubt and they try to make you fear and they try to give you all these type of different things. Then you got what society has to say about a lot of stuff. If you're not this size, if you're not this color, if you don't have this education level, if you don't know these people, and we start to get discouraged, but not realizing that everything, we can find a way to get something done. We can find our way in the niche. Just because there's 100,000 people doing this, it's going to be 100,000 to 1 when I get into it. And so you got to have that mentality. You got to have some faith. You got to keep the confidence. You got to realize that, again, people, they're just going to be some haters. People are just going to be people. I don't expect people all the time to see my vision. And I love the, optimal or the, I guess the optometry, analogies and things of that sort. Why would I give Danny my glasses? and be surprised when she can't see out of them. This vision was made for me. This is my dream. This is my goals. These are my plans. And so she got something tailor-made for her. You got something tailor-made for you. I have this tailor-made for me. If she can't see it, that's all right. If you can't understand it, if I can't see what's going on in your life, the least we can do is support each other along the way. I mean, you know, I'm going to walk with you. I don't necessarily know how this is going to happen, but hey, we tight. We're going to be together. Let's go ahead and get this done. So don't allow limits to be set over your life. No matter what you do, that people say the sky is the limit. I don't believe that foolishness either. Don't tell me that the sky is the limit when there's footprints on the moon. People said that only you can go up to the clouds, and then cats start going to the moon, and they're getting out there near the sun and doing all these type of different things. And so I heard this quote once. It said, the sky is not the limit, I am. The only limits you place are the ones that you place on yourself. You know, and so we talk ourselves out of stuff. We psych ourselves out. We listen to the naysayers. We listen to the doubters. We listen to the haters. And then we start telling ourselves, no, I can't do this. I can't do that. I should have been did half the stuff I'm doing right now. I mean, should have been did it. Should have been made the decision. And, you know, consequently, a lot of the things that I didn't do caused me to do things that I shouldn't have been doing. Yeah, y'all know how it is when you make bad decisions and, you know, you thinking to yourself, man, if only I would have did this over here. If only I would have avoided this situation. If only I would have said this different or did this different, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't have these long-lasting effects. And then the more stupid stuff you do, the more you wait on your dreams, the farther and farther and farther you're setting yourself back. So you got a lot more ground that you got to make up now. And so a lot of things that we now see ourselves doing, we're trying to play catch up. And we're catching up to things, and we're now putting the things into, you know, I guess, play now. And I never forget this. My pastor, he was telling his testimony one Sunday, and he talked about how he was in the world, how he was when he was in sin and doing God knows what. And he said one day when he got saved, God spoke to him and said, the same way you were in the world, that fire, that intensity that you had, I need that from you now that you're saved and some. And it caused me to even think even further. All of the things that I did wrong, I'm going to have to work to undo that and then do some. And so when we are making our decisions, when we are deciding to go forward and do things, when we are saying that we're not going to place any limits on our lives, number one, make sure you're making wise decisions in doing it. Make sure that you're being wise in everything that you're doing so that you're not being sloppy in your life and messing things over and having to go back and clean all of that stuff up. But number one, don't allow people to set limits over your life. Take the limits off. Don't compromise, don't doubt, don't fear, and everything will be all right. This was good to me. Understand that in the process of wanting to shine, in order to want to grow, in order to want to get better, realize you're going to get cut in the process. You're going to endure some pain. You're going to endure some heartache. You're going to endure some stress, some worry. I heard this way once before. Everyone wants to shine bright like a diamond, but no one wants to get cut. And if you look at a diamond, you see the diamond. It's wonderful. I mean, I like the way diamonds look. You know, they shine bright. But when you see it in its natural form, it looks like a little regular rock. I mean, if I threw a whole bunch of diamonds from a coal mine in Africa out in the yard right now, well, no one even probably knows what they were. Because in its natural form, there's no brilliance to it. I mean, a diamond don't start off as a VVS. It goes through a process of being cut. It goes through a process of being heated. It goes through a process of a lot of different things. And the sharper the cuts, oftentimes the brighter the shine. And so then that should be some encouragement to somebody. The harder you're getting cut, the more you're going to shine. The worse things you go through, the better the shine is going to be, the better the brilliance, the better the quality. And again, I can say from experience, some of the heartache and the pain that I have, it caused me to never ever want to go back, but then it makes me want to put out a good quality now. It makes me go with such a fervor, with such a passion, and people look at me and they're like, man, I mean, have you always been able to do this? I remember Tevin was asking me, have I always been, a good speaker? Absolutely not. I hated speaking. When I first got called to preach, I'm like, no, like I'm going to get up there. I answered the call to God. That's what I did. I had to do that first and foremost. But I would get up there and I'm just reading and I have my head down the whole time and I'm like, the Bible says so and so and so and so and Jesus. And then I sit down and then Tremaine and Jamar, they come up behind me and they just light the pulpit up. I didn't have that. I didn't have that confidence. I didn't have that ability to want to do that. I just sat there, read my notes, and sat down. And I was scared. I was fearful. But I had a revelation one day. You know, I said, you know, when I was in trouble, and I think I maybe had like a dream or something. Somebody, was approaching me about something, and I was like yelling, like, "Hey, don't do that, don't do that!" I think it's like about to hit my car or something. I can't remember. And then I remember one day, one of my friends, Elder Fielder, he came. He said to me, he said, "Man, when you're in that pulpit, I want you to look at it like, think about it like this: if somebody's about to hit Portia, or somebody's about to, snatch her from somewhere, like, would you be quiet? Or would you be yelling down the street trying to get their attention?" And he's like, that's in you. You got more than what you're offering. And I started looking at that, and I was like, yeah, maybe you're right. And so I looked at it, and I began to kind of tap into those places in my life and those experiences, those different things, remembering, getting excited about where God brought me from, getting excited about the fact that, wait, he actually called me to preach, like, of all people, And so it's almost like a light switch came on all of a sudden, and I was just going for broke every single time. I mean, sweating, spitting, it don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I go hoarse, again, because I want to see people's lives change just like mine has been changed. And so, again, the pain that you're going through, the process that you're going through, all of these things are here to make you better. They're here to make you grow. Tribulation is the work of patience. Patience works experience, experience hope, and hope makes you not ashamed. So all the things that we go through, we ought to, I guess, kind of get happy about it. Jesus said, leap for joy when they persecute you. Leap for joy when they talk about you. I mean, be excited because you are partaking in his sufferings. You are, I guess, equal with him. I like how Peter said, he says, after you suffered a little while, God is going to establish you. He's going to settle you, strengthen you, and make you perfect. And so, again, things hurt. You may miss some bills. Some people may talk about us. We may miss opportunities. But all of these things are going to come to make us better. They're going to come to make us stronger. Hey family, I hope and I pray that you enjoyed that message that you just heard. First of all, I want to let you know that if you want this message in its entirety, you can go to my website. You can drop me a line there, contact me, send me an email. Let me know that you are interested in getting this message, and I'll definitely ship it right out to you. Also, I want to say thank you all once again for supporting this broadcast. You can see me here, every first Sunday of the month. Shout out to BGN, Bell Global Network TV. Definitely appreciate everything that they've allowed me to be able to do. You also can view this, program on its website. Go to bgntvgospel.com. That link is also there at the bottom of the page. You can go right there. Check out old episodes of I Got Something to Say over the last couple of months I've been able to do. And so definitely connect with me and go to my website. All of that information is outlined there. You can contact me directly on my website as well. And again, you can find out a lot more information, not only about my ministry, but also about the business endeavors and the things that God has blessed me to be able to do.
What's going on, y'all? It's Mr. Bell. Some know me as Antone Choirboy Bell. Others know me as Elder Antone Bell. I am co-CEO of Bell Global Network, BGN TV 2090. And I want to invite you right now to get your own broadcast. Calling all ministries, all politicians, all business owners. Get your own broadcast right now, starting at $99. And if you have an idea for a TV show, we can bring your idea to reality. We have packages available that includes production and facilities. Also, we have advertising packages starting as little as $25. So don't hesitate. Give us a call at 313-355-7877. Once again, that's 313-355-7877 to make an appointment today.